When we took over, the country was in rubble, in ashes. There wasn't anything. When we took power in 1979, we found a country without water, without light, without communications, without health, with the infrastructures destroyed, roads, bridges, electric lines blown up.
Before we made the insurrection, we had very romantic ideas about reality. I didn't know a word about economy. How much did it cost to produce a liter of milk, to keep a cow alive? I didn't know nothing about it. Or about the textiles and cotton, the problem of ecology producing cotton, and the problem of deforestation, the use of the soil in this country, the use of the water resources, and things like that. Nobody knew nothing about it.
At the beginning of the revolution, we made some mistakes in economic planning. I remember perfectly that sometime in the first days of the revolution, we planted the cotton plantations with basic grains, corn, and beans, because we thought that cotton had been used to obtain dollars by the big landowners, and what we had to do was give something to eat to the people. So we sacrificed the cotton and planted beans, and we lost about $100 million. We had romantic ideas about the economy and wanted people to have food. So we sacrificed the cotton without knowing that with cotton we could produce an income to produce beans and the cash to buy machinery. It's not easy, and it doesn't appear in any books how to make a Ministry of Education or a literacy campaign. It's not in any books how to organize an army or a Ministry of the Interior. Sometimes people demand perfection from us and that we shouldn't make mistakes or that we should advance more rapidly. People are very romantic about the revolution and don't see the reality. They think that because you're a revolutionary, you're perfect and you know everything. It's not true. Some things you know and some you learn as you go. And it's not in any books.
There's scarcity of everything. Rice, beans, everything's screwed up.
I have in my family 15 people living in one house. They give us half a pound of rice. That's not enough for a week.
We have problems of scarcity of everything, of food mostly, but I think it'll get better.
The situation up to now is difficult, and it's been getting worse. But if we compare our present with our painful past, what difference does it make that instead of being able to buy as much sugar as we want, I can only buy a limited amount with a ration card? It's not important. But my mother is not going to go crazy because they're bombing here. And if they do start bombing, there will be a collective response by an organized people. We have the means to defend ourselves. We're not going to die the way people in Ocotal died in 1927, when my uncle died. This gives us a sense of satisfaction, of security, not only in the present, but in the future. We feel that it's not a fairy tale or a dream. It's a reality that we're living, that Nicaragua is ours. So for us, it's not a question of imposition, of domination, where one person rules and the rest obey. The people of Nicaragua aren't a bunch of sheep. We are 3 million thinking, critical human beings who see what's going on every day, and when we don't agree, we speak out. But when we disagree or something affects us, we say so. We believe we are a democratic country. Democratic because if we define democracy as a government of the people, for the people and by the people, in Nicaragua people are deciding what they want.
Son 6,000 córdobas mensuales al año lo que daríamos. Podríamos aumentar un poquito más esa tarifa, me parece a mí.
There are always meetings, in factories, in neighborhoods, where people say, I don't agree with such and such, or why do we have this problem? So things get explained, discussed, evaluated, in order to make improvements.
This meeting is important because we Nicaraguans are involved in a real struggle for development. We are struggling because we don't want these children, this new generation, to grow up the way we older ones did under an oppressive regime. We want these children to have freedom and opportunity because this kid could be a great doctor or a lawyer. In the past, the only thing this kid could look forward to was having a machete, a little campesino with a machete. Today, that's not what we want. We want these children to be teachers, lawyers, doctors, people of importance to humanity.
The values of the Sandinistas are still the same. We made the revolution to improve the lives of the people of Nicaragua, but of the majority of the people who are poor. And in spite of all the problems, in 7 years, we've advanced a lot. The people of Nicaragua live better than under Somoza. The peasants have land before they didn't. The biggest obstacle to improving people's lives is the aggression from the U.S. government. It slows us down tremendously. If we give land to the peasants and help them build their houses, then the Contras come and destroy the houses and kill the peasants. The majority of the problems of this revolution are caused by the war and the destruction it brings, and the shortages created by having to divert resources that should be used to build schools, hospitals, and generate jobs in order to defend ourselves in a war that we don't want, that nobody wants. In May of this year in Miraflor, 300 Contras entered. They destroyed this, a health center which was built by the revolution, and this, which was the school for the campesinos of this area. In other words, in one attack, which wasn't against the army and much less against Cubans or Russians, in one blow, they left many campesinos without the possibility of health care and many children of campesinos without the possibility of education. They didn't destroy any military facility.
They killed my brother-in-law too, the husband of my sister. He was a very good man. He loved to play poker. He was all the time making bets. He loved horses. He was a middle producer of coffee, a rich farmer. He didn't want to do with politics, never. But he was all the time supporting to make a road, to build things, to create better conditions in the countryside. He was a very good man. He loved the country music, and he loved to go to some places to dance, eat well in a very good restaurant, and things like that. And he was killed in a very cruel way. They broke, bone by bone, all the bones of his body. They cut off his tongue. and took out his eyes and cut his sex and put a knife inside of him many times without killing him. And he died of all the pain.
The war in Nicaragua has affected all of us. Living in a country at war is very difficult. For example, if I go out to work, I can never be sure that I'll return alive. You go because you have to work, but that implies that any time we travel to another place, we're risking our lives. And we're not sure if we're going to return to our families or if we'll come back in a coffin. Or maybe we'll be ambushed and permanently disabled.
My name is Reinerio Medina. I'm 24, and 7 years ago I was wounded in the war. I think that being disabled is a product of the policy that the United States has been carrying out in Nicaragua for many years. That's why there was a revolution in Nicaragua, and I think that's why there's a war of aggression against Nicaragua. Because it's a country that didn't accept this policy of domination. The people here want to be really free. They want to be the owners of their own destiny, and that's why we practice sports. We are going to school and working. There aren't many resources here, but there's a lot of determination, and I think that's something all the people of Nicaragua have.
When we are called to the border to defend our country. Most of us are not soldiers. We are not in the army. We are armed citizens, sons of our country, Nicaragua. And as their sons, we feel the duty and obligation to defend her. One thing, we don't like war. We are not warlike. We are people who want peace, and we are fighting only to defend ourselves, nothing more. We are not invading Honduras. We are not invading Costa Rica. And much less your country, where we had to travel so many thousands of miles to make life impossible for that man. It's him that's making life impossible for us. We want you to talk to the people of the United States, to carry them this message. Pressure this guy to leave us in peace. Rather than spending millions of dollars to kill us, give it as a present to so many poor people who need it instead of all this dead.